All right, folks, good evening. Welcome to DuePoint. Welcome to everyone who's tuned in on our live stream around the country. Tonight we have a special edition of our intro presentation. As you can see, if you're familiar with our presentation, this generally is not the first slide you see, but this is a format that we do once a month, and it is my favorite format because I get to share the stage with other people. And this evening is called Tell All Tuesday, where we invite some of the people that have come before you. So I'm speaking to the guests now. We've got people that have been involved in this business, some since inception, some only for a few months, and we have the opportunity to hear their stories, and I'm assuming that you'll believe them before you believe me, right? I'm a typical skeptic. I don't trust anyone in marketing or advertising, and so we use the opportunity to bring up real people who are doing this business to share their experiences with us. So it's a very exciting format for me. We're going to probably be running for just over an hour. Typically our intro presentation is only about 45 minutes, but with our guests coming up, we'll probably be just over an hour, and then after the presentation, you're welcome to come speak to me, ask me any questions that you might have, come speak to our wealth engineers. A lot of our staff are here this evening. You're welcome to go speak to them. All right, so let's begin. As you can see, DuePoint is a division of another company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Constantia is a registered insurance company in South Africa. We've been around for a very long time. We were founded in 1952. We registered on the Joburg Stock Exchange under a group called Conduit Capital. So go do a background check on us. It is fundamental that you trust the business we're going to be speaking about this evening. Right? As someone who comes from marketing and advertising, I know that no one will make a decision without trust being involved in that process. And so go do a background check if you need to. On us, the FSP number that we operate under is that one that you see on the screen over there. That's very important because we are obviously regulated by the Financial Services Board. You'll notice in the foyer above the water cooler, we've got all these certificates up on the wall. Go take a look at those. Those are Financial Services Board licenses. So you'll see we've got an investment license up there. We've got a long and short-term insurance license. We've got our FSP license. And then we've also put up our accreditation with the direct marketing and the direct selling associations. Again, just to show you that we are a credible business here at DuePoint. So some time ago, 2 years and about 4 months ago, Constantia saw an opportunity to create an income-forming opportunity for the average South African. And that was when DuePoint was born and launched. So on it was, I think, the 11th of February 2016, the DuePoint system was launched with a bit of fanfare. We filled out the room, invited a couple of people, and that's when this business was launched. But beyond just an income opportunity here at DuePoint, we have other aspirations for people in this business. Really what this business is about wealth creation, right? And wealth creation actually goes beyond just more income at the end of every month. You can go to speak to people that are earning 50,000 Rand a month, 100,000 Rand a month, that haven't created any wealth. Right? And so when we speak about wealth, there are a couple of things that we want people in this business to aspire to. And one of those things is getting rid of your debt as quickly as possible. We get a lot of statistics from the Financial Services Board every year, and we see that South Africans are generally heavily indebted. And in the economy that we all find ourselves in, it's actually quite difficult to escape that debt cycle. Because what's happening is that your salary is not keeping up with the cost of living every month. And so whenever will the average South African, be in a position to get rid of their debt as quickly as possible? Well, perhaps through this business called DuePoint. And so we want people to aspire to getting rid of their debt. Because when we start talking about wealth creation, we go back to the premise. Can you become a wealthy person if you owe other people money? No, right? And so it always begins with that. Get rid of that debt as quickly as possible. You don't have to take 20 years to pay a house off. You don't have to take the 5 years to pay a car off. You can actually do it faster, but it requires that decision. And once you get rid of your debt, now you can focus on wealth creation. And we create wealth through the ownership of assets and investments that hopefully appreciate. Right? And our ultimate aspiration, the reason why we are all here this evening, is just to be happier. And I suspect everyone will be happier if you are debt-free. Imagine being debt-free. I can only imagine it. I've never really got to that point, so I can only dream about it. But I like to think of the end of the month when your phone starts to beep. You know, your phone beeps at the end of the month. You generally get an SMS saying that your income, your salary has been paid into your bank account. And then what happens 5 minutes after you get that SMS from the bank? You get the debit order SMSs. And that's more than one usually, right? Maybe you've got multiple accounts, so you're getting SMSs from all size different bank accounts. Now imagine at the end of the month, you only got 2 SMSs. One from your employer saying your salary's been paid into your bank account, and one from DuePoint saying that an additional income's been paid into your account. And then you have silence because you don't have any debit orders. You're one of those parents that we're jealous of that pay for their kids' education 1 year up front. Have you seen the checkbox on the form? There's a checkbox right at the bottom of the form. Would you like to pay 1 year up front? You're looking at the other parents going, who's ticking that checkbox? You can be one of those parents. You can be one of those parents. And really, that's the aspiration for us, for people in this business just to be happier with their circumstance. And we are designing this business to change people's circumstance. So how does this business work? Our guests here this evening, you have the opportunity to join this business called DuePoint. You enter into a contract with us, and we call you wealth engineers. So that's what we refer to people in this business as, wealth engineers, right? That goes without saying. That's what we're doing here. And as wealth engineers, you've got a single task. That is to go out and build what we call a channel of distribution. Now, I'll show you what a channel of distribution looks like shortly, but it is basically you just connecting other people to this business. That's what I depend solely on you for, right? It's just to connect other people to this business, to go out and tell people that there's a business called DuePoint that allows you to create additional income. And if you are successful in that process, and if you can get those people to sit down in an intro presentation like this, or to tune into our live stream, or to watch it on your laptop through a USB stick, then myself and Brendan will do the rest of the work. We will tell them about the business, talk about our products. And if we are successful in that process, and those people that you've connected us to become wealth engineers and product owners at DuePoint, there are a whole bunch of benefits waiting for you in the success of that process. Primarily, the first being that you get to create an additional income stream. Right? That extra paycheck at the end of every month. The nature of that paycheck or the income that we produce is very important. We create what we call recurring income. Now, you might hear some people refer to it, especially in entrepreneurial circles. People talk about the power of creating passive income. It's the same thing. Recurring income and passive income are the same thing. It is the ability to make money while you're sleeping. Who even knows what that means, to make money while you're sleeping? All right? You can actually make money while you're sleeping. It's called recurring income. DuePoint, being an insurance company, and you get businesses that create recurring income. As an insurance company, that's one of our inherent benefits that we share with the people in our business. You can put effort into building your channel of distribution in July 2018. That doesn't only pay you at the end of the month, like your salary. You can do business this month that will potentially pay you next month, the month after that, 3 months later, a year later, 5 years from today, you could still be earning income from the effort you put in July 2018. That is the power of recurring income. You also get to harness the power of duplication. So that's leverage. That's actually something that's intrinsic to network marketing businesses. It allows you to duplicate yourself. Right? This is a very important benefit, and it's something that you have to leverage because you want to duplicate yourself. Right? We are constrained by time. Time is the biggest constraint. No one's invented a time machine yet. Right? So you want to leverage your time. You do this by the power of duplication. If you can go out and find other people that are resourceful, right, that can do the DuePoint business as well as you doing it, you've just duplicated yourself. If you find 10 people, you've just leveraged yourself 10 times. In the investment industry, they call that gearing. Unfortunately, in the investment industry, gearing means that you can lose 10 times the amount of money that you invest. In this business, there's no risk to that. You get to gear yourself, gear your returning income without taking on the risk. Our business is flexi time. It means you can do this business anytime, anywhere in the country. And the first wealth engineer that we're going to be showcasing tonight is a perfect example of being able to do the business regardless of your circumstance, right? So very excited to, he's not here tonight, but we'll have a video from him, and he will demonstrate the power of the business and the technology that we've put in place that allows you to do the business anytime, anywhere. There's no startup capital. We've designed this business to be as low risk as possible. So there's no registration fees. There's no boxes of product that you have to invest in. We're not going to ask you for 5,000 Rand or 25,000 Rand to invest tonight. We've designed this business to have a very low barrier to entry so that we can make it as accessible to the average population. At the same time, there's no qualifications or experience required. Did anyone bring a CV with them tonight? No one's here looking for a job, right? Unfortunately, this is a volunteer business from our point of view. But again, it's accessible to everybody because we don't care whether you've got matric or not, whether you've got work experience or not, whether you've got a degree or not, because that doesn't matter in this business. What matters in this business is work ethic, your ability to sacrifice to get what you want out of life. That's what we care about. You get to build an asset. Right? Now, I always say this is wrong, but I've never changed it. It needs to say you get to build an asset that you have ownership of. That's very important because now you're building this channel of distribution, and I'm saying to you it's an asset that you have ownership over. So what does that mean? That means you can sell your channel of distribution at DuePoint. You can get to a point, and for whatever reason, we've got multiple wealth engineers that have sold their businesses in the last 2 years. It also means that we don't retire you. An asset can't retire you. Who gets to retire you? When do you hear that word? I've got a couple of pensioners here. They know what retirement means. It means an end to your income. That's what retirement means, right? We romanticize the notion of retirement because in the old days you could depend on that. You never got retrenched. In the 60s and 70s when things were booming, everything was great, right? But your employer today will get you to the point where you're 60, 65 and say, you've got nothing to offer the business anymore, which is a crazy concept in itself. The most experienced person in the company is being told they must go home. And your income ends on that day. DuePoint will not retire your income. If you created a recurring income, it'll carry on paying you into your 60s, into your 70s, into your 80s, into your 90s. When are you going to die? Has anyone thought about that? Sometimes think, I think I'm going to live to 90. Or, I had a big weekend, I'm going to live maybe 65, then my time's up. Right? What happens to an asset when you die? It gets ceded to your beneficiaries. In your will, you can cede your DuePoint recurring income to your spouse, your children. You will pass legacy, you will pass wealth onto the next generation. But unfortunately in South Africa, what happens is we actually pass generational debt onto the next generation. For the majority of us, debt is the opposite of an asset. And debt doesn't disappear when you die either. The bank just starts phoning somebody else. Right? Who would like to pass wealth onto their children? Yeah? Do you want your photo on the mantelpiece once you die? Or in the dustbin? It's going to depend on whether you leave debt or wealth behind, right? You have the opportunity to build an asset that has value that keeps paying out, right? And so I'm hoping that people will be happy to sacrifice time building their channel of distribution in knowing that they have ownership over this thing. We don't have any selling here at DuePoint. This is a wonderful thing. Who would like to spend this weekend selling insurance products to their friends? Put your hand up. Right? That's not a prospect anyone looks forward to. It doesn't matter what the product is. Very few salespeople among us. Brendan always quotes some saying that people are more scared of selling than dying. Right? You don't have to sell this business, our products. What you're going to be doing is just connecting people to a business opportunity. How many people would respond to me if I came up to them and said, I've heard you're complaining, I've got a solution for you. Come sit down for 45 minutes and listen to this opportunity. Right? That's what you're going to be doing, connecting people to typically something that everybody needs in this country. That's your only task here at DuePoint. The nature of our products, which we take care of, you don't have to worry about, but the nature of our products, because they're financial in nature, means we don't have stock and distribution issues. Like I said, there's no box of product that you're going to go home with tonight. You didn't have to bring a bucky. You didn't have to phone and check that we have stock. Our products don't expire. They don't start to smell funny in your cupboard when you forget about them for 3 months. Right? And so our products are convenient at the same time. But your success here at DuePoint is very much dependent on your ability to build a channel of distribution. So I said I was going to show you what one looks like. It begins with you. You become a wealth engineer and a product owner here at DuePoint, and you're now faced with this task of connecting people, right? Which just means you have to open your mouth and tell people about DuePoint. And if you're successful in that process and those people decide that they also want to become wealth engineers and product owners, that is the beginning of your channel of distribution. And this is where power of duplication takes over. Because whether you like it or not, your channel will potentially grow beyond your effort. That is power duplication. That's leverage that you certainly want to take advantage of, because you're being paid potentially for every single dot that you see on the screen. Recurring income, not once-off income. That's why I say you can spend effort in July 2018 that will still be paying you in 5 years' time. And we've got thousands of wealth engineers that have joined this business and walked away. And their channels are still growing and still growing and still growing today. Infamously, we've got one lady that we always mention who joined at the beginning of 2016. She had wonderful success. She walked away for whatever reason within 5 months. And she was earning money, but she walked away. Today, she's got over 7,000 people in her business, and she's completely unaware of it. She's walking on a diamond mine, looking over the fence at the greener grass over there. That's what happens, right? This business takes time. It does not turn into this overnight. You have to give it time. You can be the biggest DuePoint superstar in the world. You still have to let time run its course so that your channel can build, right? And this is what a channel of distribution looks like. This is what we're going to be building here at DuePoint. All right? I've got 2 warnings for you. 2 warnings before we start talking about the money. They stem off of one statement. We are not a get-rich-quick scheme. So the 2 warnings for you is, we are not an illegitimate business. This is a very legitimate entrepreneurial opportunity. We are a 70-year-old insurance company. I'm always facetious about all the accountants that work here. I say that they're boring and they get excited over Excel formulas. But they are very credible at the same time. When you've got chartered accountants in an organization, you can look at them and go, okay, they must be credible, right? They've done so many years of work. They're smart people. We're an insurance business. We're regulated by the Financial Services Board all the time, nearly on a daily basis. And we will never put a 70-year reputation online to try and push a get-rich-quick scheme, right? And so I hope I've allayed that fear for everybody in the audience. The second point I want to make is that because we're not a get-rich-quick scheme, if you're here hoping to get rich quickly, it's not going to happen. There's no such thing unless you win the lotto. And Brendan explained in his training on Saturday, what are the odds of us winning the lotto? Of one of the individuals here, what are the odds of you winning the lotto in South Africa? 1 in 20 million, right? He said you've got more chance of dating 20 supermodels in a row before you win the lotto. So that's not going to happen. Guys, my point is if you're here looking for something that you can create dependable income, slow and steady work on becoming wealthy, you are in the right place. If you're thinking that you're going to be a millionaire by the end of the year, you are in the wrong place. You need to buy 20 million lotto tickets tomorrow. Right? So those are my 2 warnings. So I hope no one's confused, no one's walked out. So I'm assuming everyone's happy to get rich slowly in the audience here this evening, which is a good thing. I want to speak about our products before we talk about how to earn money here at DuePoint. So we've got 4 financial products. They are financial in nature. Their benefit is financial in nature. So I'm going to go through them quickly. You're welcome to come speak to me and ask me questions afterwards. Our first product is called Access Wealth. It's going to cost you 324 Rand every month. And it is our investment product, because 100 Rand of that 324 will be invested into a tax-free investment fund every single month. That fund sits with Sanlam. You've got full access to that. There's no delay period on accessing the funds there, so you can access it. It takes us about 4 or 5 days for you to access those funds, not a 30 or 60-day notice. And on top of that, we give you 120,000 rands worth of personal accident cover. So if you have this investment in place and you're killed in any form of accident, whether you're slipping off a ladder or you're killed in a crime or hijacking or you die in a car accident, any form of accident, we will pay out your beneficiaries 120,000 rand plus whatever's in the investment, right? So this is our investment product, Access Wealth. The second product is called Wealth Guard. Wealth Guard is going to cost you 249 rand every month, and this is a personal accident cover product only. So it's no investment, it's purely insurance. But this time, for the 249 rand, you get 1 million rands worth of personal accident cover. The beauty of personal accident cover is that we can offer it to anyone regardless of your health status or your age, as long as you're over the age of 18. So you can be 70 years old, you can be diabetic, you can still take out this product, right? We don't discriminate against those two factors. Typically, when you look at life insurance, your premium goes up the older you are, and the sicker you get, the premium goes up, right? So this product becomes accessible to everybody. That's the beauty of Wealth Guard. The third product is Family Wealth. This is our new funeral cover product. It is an awesome product. It starts at 299 rand a month, and you get 20,000 rands worth of funeral cover that covers up to 5 family members. And you get 10,000 rands worth of debt protection. So that means if you owe the bank 10,000 rand or Edgar's or wherever you've got debt outstanding and you die, we'll cover up to 10,000 rand and pay that debt back. And then you can bump this product up. So if you want 30,000 rand cover, you can choose the 30,000 rand option. If you want 10 family members, you can bump it up to 10 family members. Wonderful product, and what makes it amazing is that we don't have any pre-existing conditions that we exclude. That means you can take out this product regardless of your health, right? So wonderful product in our funeral cover product, Family Wealth. And then the final product is called Wealth Points. Now, Wealth Points aims to reduce your cost of living. We're all spending money every single month that we have to spend. This product wants you to spend less on that. And so for 299 rand a month, we've gone to a number of suppliers or companies, and we've negotiated discounts with them that we pass on to our Wealth Points members. So we've tried to cover everything. We've got data partners, we've got groceries, we've got online retailers, we've got through the entertainer hotels and restaurants and functions, we've got car manufacturers, and we are adding partners to this product all the time. So I'm hoping in the next 2 or 3 weeks we're going to be announcing a brand new partner that is going to blow everybody's socks off. No one knows who it is, so don't come ask me afterwards. But my point is that this product is ever evolving, right? Without the premium going up, we will keep looking at new partners to add on to this, and we've got some very exciting partners in the pipeline. If you're looking for immediate benefit, Wealth Points is a wonderful product. So those are our 4 products. Like I said, if you have any questions, come speak to me. We've got very in-depth reviews on YouTube if you want to go dive into that. Let's get on to how you earn in the business. How do you make money here at DuePoint? How do we pay wealth engineers, right? So we pay a base return fee of 27.50 rand for every product that you have in your channel. So remember the channel slide where you saw all the dots on the screen? Imagine you are earning 27.50 rand for every single dot on the screen every single month, because it's recurring income, right? But it's actually dependent on where those dots are in relation to yourself. So remember the first 5 people you introduced to DuePoint successfully? That product lies on your first point, right? And on your first point, according to the table you see, we actually pay double the 27.50 rand. So you're earning 55 rand for every product on your first point every single month going forward. And then as your first point speaks to other people and connects those people, that product lies on your second point. And your second point, you get paid again 55 rand for every product. And as your channel starts to grow and grow and grow, so the multiplier starts to drop steadily. Right? By the 8th point, if you grow your channel that wide, you're earning 4% of the 27.50 rand. But you'll note that we have a little plus sign next to that 8. That means because we don't limit you to 0.8. You can grow your channel well beyond 0.8. We've got wealth engineers sitting here with channels beyond 0.30 already in their business in the space of 27 months. There's no limit to how big your channel can get at DuePoint. There's no limit to how much money you can earn at DuePoint. So this is the mechanics of the earn. This is how we decide what we're paying people at the end of every single month. The next natural question is, well, how quickly can I become rich at DuePoint? Are you wondering that yet? Anyone want to know how quickly they can become millionaires? at DuePoint? Or you're just happy with 2,000 Rand a month? $1 million? Sure, I've got a rich audience today. Okay, so what we did was we built this projection. It is a projection over the next 5 years. So if you don't have a 5-year plan, I've got one for you, right? It is based on a premise or an assumption that in your first month you can connect 3 people to the business. Not 5, just 3 in your first month. But then every consecutive month thereafter going forward, you've got to connect 2 people every single month. So we call it the 3+2 growth formula. 3 people in July, then you're going to do 2 in August, 2 in September, 2 in October, 2 in November. You're going to keep doing 2 for the next 5 years, every single month. And if you can follow that growth formula, it's just an example. If you can follow the growth formula, you can expect these kind of numbers. 2,500 Rand after 6 months. Now, I've got the millionaire audience over here, so you're not happy with the 2,500 Rand. But I use this little 2,500 Rand to illustrate a point about wealth creation, because it's something that I saw in myself. So in the old days when I gave the presentation, before I learned the lesson, I would just say, 2,500 Rand, you put it into your bond, blah, 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 blah. What I realized in myself is that I make the mistake of thinking like a consumer. How does a consumer think? Imagine tonight was everybody's lucky night and I put 2,500 Rand under everybody's chair tonight. And you put it in your wallet. How long will that 2,500 Rand last realistically? An hour, tomorrow morning it's gone, right? That's how consumers think. You guys think like me. You look at the value of money in terms of spending value. How does someone who's focusing on wealth creation look at money? They don't look at spending it. They look at investing it, using it to leverage their position, because you can use money to make more money. If you spend it, it's gone, right? So here's the illustration. 2,500 Rand, if you decide to put that into a 1 million Rand bond, which is probably going to cost you 11,500 Rand a month for 20 years at prime plus 2. If you decide to take that 2,500 Rand and put it into that bond as an additional payment, you'll save yourself nearly 1 million Rand, because you'll pay the house off in 11.5 years instead of 20 years. And you save yourself nearly 1 million Rand in interest payments. That's what little 2,500 Rand can do. Who's going to have 1 million Rand in their retirement fund by the time they get to 60? Very few of us, right? This exercise of paying your debt off faster has so much value. At month 12, you're earning in excess of 100,000 Rand annually in recurring income. Now I'm going to ask you a very easy question. Who would like a 100,000 Rand check every December just after Christmas? Why am I not seeing 2 hands in the air? Please, I'll take 1 check for my spouse and 1 for me. Right? That's at 12 months. Can you see how quickly the return starts to escalate? Because you are leveraging the power of duplication. This is not based on your efforts alone. You keep going. At 24 months, you're now close to 30,000 Rand a month. Now that changes anyone's life, right? Now you're starting to feel really empowered. At month 36, you're close to 50,000 Rand a month. My favorite example is over here. At month 30, you're earning about 36,000 Rand a month. What are you going to do? Pay your bond off faster or buy a Range Rover? Who wants the Range Rover? See, you're with me. You're with me. My wife won't let me. But that's the difference, right? We might be facetious and make jokes about it, but that's the decision we're faced with every single day when we have money in our wallets. What do we do with it? Do we leverage it or do we spend? Because if you decided to put it into a 5 million Rand house bond, you'll pay that house off in less than 7 years. Right? Pay your debt off. Now focus on wealth creation. Do it again. Buy another house. 7 years after that, you now have 2 houses that you paid off. Buy a 3rd house, right? You're creating a property investment for yourself. So you buy a 3rd house. So I'm 40. In 21 years, I could pay off 3 houses to the value of 5 million Rand each. At the age of 61, when Brendan kicks me out, he says, I'm too old to give presentations anymore. Hallelujah. Right? I go home without any income coming in from my day job anymore because that's over, but I'm in a house that I paid off 14 years ago. I've got 2 other houses, 5 million rand each, that I'm renting out for 60,000, 70,000 rand a month. That's the retirement you have to start planning today. You've got to do it 20 years before you reach that position, right? It requires that decision to say no to the Range Rover. My weakness. A Porsche rather, I think, for me. Right? The kids must walk. But that's the decision always, right? That's why they make these expensive things so attractive. At month 48, by the next World Cup, you could be earning nearly 70,000 rand a month. While everyone's sweating on the pitch in Qatar at the next World Cup, you'd be earning 70,000 rand extra above your monthly income. And a year after that, 5 years from today, you wanted the 5-year plan? 5 years from today, you could kind of be a millionaire because you'd be earning nearly 85,000 rand a month, which equates to almost 1 million rand in annual recurring income. Imagine picking up a 1 million rand check once a year from DuePoint. Come to reception, Brendan signs the check, 1 million rand, and you take that home for Christmas every single year. Now you're thinking this is just a fancy example set up by the advertising guy to make me join, right? And you would be right, because this is academic. This is a formula, remember, based on 3 + 2, but it is purely theoretical. But tonight's Tattle Tuesday, and we invite people onto stage that you can see how they're working this business in real life. And so we have our first wealth engineer who we're going to be showcasing. So this is Andries Lottering. So I've come to know Andries over the last year or two, and he's from Kempton Park. Kempton Park is the hot spot for DuePoint. I've proposed that we move our head office to Kempton Park because all the successful wealth engineers seem to come from that side. I don't know if the planes flying over, maybe the vapor from the fuels coming down on Kempton and empowering people there. But anyway, so I've come to know Andries over the years. He's involved in mining. My father's a miner, so he often comes to chat to me about mining, and we have a bit of a chit-chat. But we haven't seen him of late. And Brendan's going to come up and just discuss a little more about Andries so we can appreciate his circumstance. I better give you the microphone.
Mm-hmm. Yes, as Rob said, that is his name. Just reminding that because everyone always thinks I'm Rob. This is Rob. We've spent a couple of years with Andries now. In the beginning, when we launched DuePoint, he used to be here relatively regularly, but even then, he couldn't come by himself. He always had to come with somebody. Somebody had to bring him every time he came here. And it was an interesting kind of story that's grown around Andries. We have in DuePoint the propensity to attract people that have excuses. Any one of you who've been with us over the last couple of years will know that we've codified them into a dictionary or a thesaurus of excuses around DuePoint. And it's generally quite comprehensive, the excuses for, I can't do this business because. Now, Andries has got just the most incredible set of real-life excuses that he could use but doesn't, and has over the course of 2 years with us really started to build an asset, a wealth that he could not have done anywhere else except for with DuePoint because of our technology. And he has put aside all the excuses that are very unique to him. So Andries has a particular disorder where he has seizures very often. The seizures are crazy. He doesn't breathe during the seizures, so he'll go 2 to 3 minutes without any oxygen. So he is now no longer allowed to leave his house, because you can imagine anywhere that he leaves his house, he could die. He has to be under constant care, but this has not stopped him. He has continued to build his channel over 2 years from his house, unable to leave. Now, the other thing that this does is these seizures tend to blank his memory. Now, I know that he's watching live tonight, and I also know that I can say anything I like tonight because tomorrow he'll have forgotten. But there is a slight side effect here, and that is often he will prospect someone and then forget he's prospected them. So you guys all get no from one person once. Andries gets no from the same person 2 or 3 times. So it's 3 times as hard as it is for you. Getting rejected 3 times by every person at least. But when he does have somebody that joins the business, he also forgets that he's joined them. And so his upline has been working very closely with him to ensure that when people join his channel, that they stay plugged in to the DuePoint system and work with him. So now if you can just imagine right now, if you're thinking, I can't do this business because I don't have time, I don't have the sales personality, I don't have the money, I don't have the technology, I don't have the this, the that, the next thing, just add to that list, you can't leave your house, and your memory is failing you on a daily basis. And then you will understand the story of Andries. I just want to thank Mike and Vilna as well. They are Andries' upline, for their support of Andries throughout the last couple of years, and also for making the video that you're about to see now.
My name is Andries Lottering, and I'm 54 years old, I hope. And the reason why I looked at the DuePoint business originally was the fact that it is a dynamic group. It is really a company that has proved the right values. And this is what I value about DuePoint, is the fact that you also not only help yourself through the business, but you also give somebody else the same opportunity. DuePoint really has proved in all aspects the right values for me. And being a businessman for many years and in the industry, I saw that there is really what's the right word? An opportunity. And not only to grow, but also to improve yourself and your family for the rest of your life. When Mike introduced me to the business, I really enjoyed working with him and his team. And you know, being part of a team has also given many people the opportunity to reach out and to make a living. So many of us has got a job, you know, 6 to 8 or 6 to 5. You go to work, you come back, and that's the end of the day. And weekends you just want to spend with the family. But through this opportunity, you become part of a different family, a family of people that really would like to share, a family of people that care, and a family of people that make a difference in your life, a positive difference in your life. Well, if you look at my story, where I come from, I've been involved in the electronic design industry and mining industry for many years. But when my health took a knock a couple of years back, it really influenced my situation where I couldn't go out anymore. My health just didn't allow me to drive anymore. And a lot of things then changed. I had to do business in another way. And DuePoint has given me the opportunity and the avenue to do this the right way.
So that's Andries' story. And we thank him for his consistent commitment and persistence in this business, which has been wonderful. And you'll see over the last 23 months, he's been able to generate nearly 3,500 Rand in monthly recurring income. And we've started putting a little number there. So you can see under current channel value, we've got a very big number there. That number represents the amount of money you would need invested to create 3,500 rands worth of interest a month. He's created that. That's our mistake again, right? We look at 3,500 rand. Some of you go, well, maybe that's worth my time. Maybe it's not worth my time. Who's got 834,000 rand sitting in the bank today? Not me, right? Not many people. But you're able to generate that stability and that recurring income. You can see we've paid him nearly 23,000 rand already. He's got 91 products in his channel, and he's introduced only 15 people on his first point. Does that show you the leverage? He's done enough work to introduce 15 people, but he's earning off of 91 products in his channel. That is the power duplication that you want to harness. So I suspect we're going to see a lot more of Andries when he's able to come out to head office. And again, we thank him for his commitment. And also, he speaks about the teamwork, right? He's got Mike and Vilna as his upline, and they're working together. This is a business where we get to benefit from teamwork. At your office, you're fighting with the person next to you, because when the word retrenchment goes around the office, they're picking who's staying and who's leaving, right? In this business, there's no competitiveness. We're all working together towards a common goal, and that's exemplified in Andries' channel. All right, so to carry on, what is the decision we need to make? What is the decision you're going to be faced with at the end of this presentation? For me, I often want to separate two things. One is I ask people, do you want a 100,000 rand check every year, or a 1,000,000 rand check? Do you want to be financially free? Do you want to be able to tell your boss what you really think about him or her? But the answer to those questions for everybody is typically yes, right? So that's not really the decision we need to make, because we always want more. The decision that I want you to be faced with at the end of the evening is, what do I need to sacrifice to fit DuePoint in my life? That's an honest question, isn't it? If you're taken by what's on the table, what's offered here, the next response has to be, well, this is what I need to sacrifice to make DuePoint realistic, to make it work for me, to make a success out of it, to get the recurring income. And you'll notice when we invite some of the other wealth engineers up, they will tell you that it's not easy. That sacrifice is indeed required. And that, for me, is the decision. Because joining is very straightforward. You can become a wealth engineer in 7 minutes. You do it online, do it on our mobile app. 7 minutes later, you're a wealth engineer. Right? But that's a non-event. You have to start applying yourself to this business. Read our code of conduct. It defines what you cannot do as a wealth engineer. That's important. Complete the online training. We spend a lot of time in supporting everybody that joins this business, and it is through our online training. Don't make the mistakes everyone else made. Get the head start. 2 years of experience from wealth engineers. That is all available to you for nothing. Set goals for yourself. It's probably the most underestimated task in life. In life, a goal is not something that drifts around in your head in terms of what you want. It isn't. You have to write a goal down. You have to take a pen, write it down on a piece of paper. Think about your goal. What do you want? It's not a fleeting choice that you make, because it requires sacrifice. What you're writing down, that goal, requires sacrifice. It means there has to suddenly be change in your behavior, in what you're committing to and keeping yourself accountable to, because it comes with a plan. You cannot have a plan unless you have a goal, and you can't have a goal unless you have a plan. Right? And we will help you with that plan, because we know what it takes to get to a certain level here at DuePoint. If you tell me you want 10,000 rand a month, I'll tell you when. Or I'll ask you, when do you want to get the 10,000 rand a month? Is it in 12 months' time? Is it in 6 months' time? Because only once you answer that can I tell you, well, you need to connect 3 people a month or 6 people a month, right? And that's part of the plan. Start talking to people. If you're not speaking to people, you're not connecting people. And if you're not connecting people, you're dead at DuePoint. But everyone has the power to speak to people, right? Getting started, very straightforward. Our next wealth engineer that we have is a gentle giant. Petrus, come up, sir. When Petrus walked in this evening, I thought, I've got to buy myself new shoes. Hold up your shoes. Right? I am behind in the game. All right, so Petrus joined us 10 months ago, and he is dashing every time he comes to head office, not only for tonight's presentation. He's at rank 3, and that will become a little clearer to you with regards to our rewards program. 4,500 rands, your current channel value at the moment, within 10 months. So Petrus is probably tracking 3 plus 2 quite nicely. He's got 5 points open in his channel, so that's how wide his channel is, already 5 points deep. He's got 121 products in his channel. He's introduced 14 people successfully to the DuePoint opportunity. So those are what his numbers look like. Let's hear from the man. So I'm always interested in to understand or to know what people's impression was of DuePoint the first time they experienced it. And you have joined DuePoint a little differently to most people. So explain to us how you were introduced to DuePoint, how all of that unfolded, and what you thought and felt about it when you saw it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Rob. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank DuePoint and the executive for the opportunity that they've afforded us. How I joined DuePoint is I'm a Facebook person. So I went through Facebook, and there's a lady there by Usisi Julia Nobantu. She is my lead engineer. So she posted a message. It has nothing to do with DuePoint, but it had a message about creating a recurring income. So I actually inboxed her, and then she replied, and then she sent me the presentation. And oh boy, wasn't I interested. So I took the opportunity on Facebook, and I want to thank her. I want to thank her very much for actually affording me this opportunity.
Okay, and what was your impression when you saw the intro presentation? Were you skeptical at first? I'm always wondering, are people skeptical? Do they look at me and go, oh, can I trust this guy? Can't I trust this guy? What did you think about it right at the beginning?
Rob, what attracted me to the business opportunity, it was actually the financial creation part of it than the product itself, because the product are just the vehicle to come on board. I normally tell a lot of people that I'm not selling insurance, but I'm selling a business opportunity. So what attracted me to the business was actually the financial freedom of the business opportunity.
Yeah, we were discussing a little earlier your background and your experience. Maybe touch on that a little bit for the audience, because you are versed in network marketing. You've been around the block, as they say.
Okay, yes, I've been into one network marketing business opportunity, and that was a long time. I'm gonna actually show my age now. I've been into one network marketing. It has been about 15 or 16 years, and I worked very hard there. And I actually ranked up to a position of being a manager. Now, what happened is that it was actually that era whereby when the rent was investigated, whereby it depreciated so badly that it was investigated. And I lost hope because it was an international company, and the product was sold in dollars. Now then, I actually left that business opportunity. I went back to the corporate world. Now, I can tell you how we normally do things is that we normally blame a business opportunity than blaming ourselves. We got to take ownership, because what I did there was I left the business opportunity. And I can tell you that there are people that are very successful that I know in that business opportunity. So coming to DuePoint, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to be a statistic. I'm going to push this business, and I'm going to break through.
Awesome. We'll get on to what that looks like, what breakthrough looks like for you shortly. But how's your last 10 months been in the business? Give our guests here who have only been with us for an hour here at DuePoint what 10 months might look like for them.
My 10 months, Rob, has been a roller coaster, up and down. It has been very exciting. And I can actually tell you guys a story tonight. With that amount, just recently, because I'm actually using the very same account where I'm earning my salary to. So I actually got a call from the bank that there's this figures over and above what I'm earning. There's these figures that are coming into my account, and they are suspecting fraud. That's what they told me. And I said to the consultant, when my account gets dried up within 3 days, you didn't call me that you're suspecting poverty. They didn't call me that they're suspecting poverty. So this is one business opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. I can understand that, you know, there's other business opportunity out there. But I can tell you that normally people will say, they'll see it as in the grass is greener on the other side. But then I can tell you that the grass is greener on the other side because there's people working on the other side. So you got to make your own grass green. Work your grass, because sometimes you might as well say the business opportunity is not working, but you are taking your laziness to the other business opportunity. The business is growing on the other side because there's people that are investing their time and their energy on the other side. So work on watering your own grass. Thank you.
Some lessons there. So going forward beyond 10 months is still, we're toddlers still learning to walk at 10 months. What does 5 years or 10 years look like for you? Why are you putting in effort today? What are you aspiring to in this business?
Rob, I happen to have got an opportunity of, gotten an invitation to attend the conference.
Yeah, rank 4s only.
Yes, that was early this year.
Yeah.
I can tell you, there is Mauritius, but forget about Mauritius for a while. What you need to concentrate on, because I happened to be there at the conference, and oh boy, okay, the food was nice, but the excitement of looking people going up the stage and getting the recognition. So before I'm talking about my long-term goals, I've got short-term goals. My short-term goals is to make sure that I plant a seed each and every day. I cannot get control of the rain, but if I plant a seed, somewhere along the line, my seeds will grow. So my intention is to actually go to the conference this year as rank 4 or rank 5, so that I can be recognized. I can go up the stage and recognized.
Yeah, short-term goals are so important. You know, dreaming about going to Mauritius every year, that can be long-term, but we have to have short-term goals. I'm glad that you brought that up. Now, what about your long-term goals? We discussed a little bit briefly earlier. You didn't commit too much about your long-term goals. I had to pull it out of you. But what would you like out of this business? I know you've got a family, and we all know that our responsibilities change once we have family. So where do you want to get to?
Rob, I work for a government entity. And I normally fly around doing my daily duties.
Yeah.
So I'm a very tall guy, and I feel very cramped when I'm at an economy seat. So my dream is to actually make sure that I move away from the economy. Yeah. Because even at taxi rank, you can see my image doesn't require I need to have a car. My image doesn't allow me to get into a taxi. So
the driver
I think my dream now is to actually work so much hard that I move away from the economy class so that I can sit comfortably with my long legs in the business class.
Do they have business class in a taxi?
No, they don't.
They don't.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Well, at DuePoint, you'll be glad to know with all our travel incentives, it's always business class.
Thank you.
Even your children.
Yes, wow.
are going to sit in business class.
What a wonderful experience.
So that is certainly something to aspire to, especially for the family. Jeez, the luxury of getting your children to travel business class, to have a 7-day business class trip, 5-star luxury resort holiday every single year for the rest of your life.
Wow.
Perhaps after rank 4.
Definitely.
5 more ranks, rank 9, you're right there.
Yes,
is there anyone you'd like to recognize or say any final closing thoughts?
I want to take this opportunity to thank my team. Umama Sibongile Udlangamandla, that is my first pointers. Usibusiso Skosana, Ubongi Nkosi Zuma. My second point is about Darren. I just want to give a shout out to you and whoever that I have encountered here that is actually in my team. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you, Mr. Lutuli. No, Mama. I just want to thank you guys for all the support. This is Julia. Let me tell you a story about this is Julia and about taking the responsibility of doing this business. The business is in here. I don't have to wake up in the morning and go and buy products and have a long queue so that I can get my product. My products are all in here. And let me tell you, my lead engineer is a very supportive person. And I can tell you that up to now, I haven't met her. It's about 10 months, I haven't met her. Wow. We run the business in this phone. So I want to send my shout out to Sis Julie. I'm saying thank you very much. Thank you very much. Ubabu Butana Smith, if he's here, that's my second pointer. I want to thank you very much and thank you for the opportunity. What I can say to you is that no matter how slow you can be, no matter how slow your pace can be, please don't ever quit because you are far much ahead than a person that hasn't started or that hasn't tried. Thank you.
Exactly. Thanks, Petrus. And I'm sure Julia appreciates your efforts as much as you do hers. On to our rewards program. So the rewards program here at DuePoint is the cherry on top. We were bantering a little bit about Mauritius, and that is part of our rewards program. So it is certainly not as important as creating that additional income in the returns program, but it is the cherry on top. So how does the rewards program work? Basically, we reward you for the success that you have at DuePoint. And with that growth that you have at DuePoint, you get to reach all these different ranks, and that's what the ranks are all about, that allow you to enjoy certain rewards that we give our wealth engineers. So you become a wealth engineer, and we start giving you what we call experience points, XP, for all the DuePoint wealth engineer things that you do. So if you come to a presentation like this, you get XP. If you bring guests with you, you get XP. If you open up your mobile app every day, you get XP. And we give you XP for a whole plethora of different things. And as your business starts to grow and you collect XP, you get to rank up in our rewards program. So to get to rank 1, because you will start out as rank 0, but to get to rank 1, all you need is 1,000 XP. You can do that in 5 minutes, even less, 60 seconds. You need 4 products in your qualified channel, and when you meet those 2 criteria, you become a rank 1 wealth engineer, and at the end of that month, we give you an extra 55 Rand. Now, all the wealth engineers know what to do with that 55 Rand. I'm going to tell you what to do with the 55 Rand, because you think 55 Rand is nothing, right? You can go buy a slice of cake and celebrate getting to rank 1 on your own. Don't invite anyone else, because then you're going to be spending money. Use the 55 Rand to celebrate. I'm being facetious, but what it means is that if you can get to rank 1 in this business, you can get to any rank in the business. Why do I say that? Because the people at rank 20 that are multimillionaires by that stage are doing exactly the same thing every day that a rank 1 is doing. And that is talking to people, connecting people. There is no difference. And as you collect more XP and your channel starts to grow, you rank up and the rewards get bigger and better. There's a 20,000 Rand check waiting for you, a 50,000 Rand check. At rank 5, we give you a special little USB drive that's got plenty of our videos, intro presentations, testimonies. It plugs into any device. It is there to empower your channel building. At rank 7, we spend 12,500 Rand getting you 1 set of business cards. Now, in the marketing and advertising world, that speaks to my heart, right? Because no one, in my 20 years, I've never seen anyone spend over 10,000 Rand on 1 set of business cards. Here at DuePoint, we spent 12,500 Rand on 1 set. Why? Because this business is always about trust and credibility. Doesn't matter what business you're in. It doesn't matter even whether you're trying to date a girl or a boy. If there's no trust in that transaction, it's not going to happen. And credibility comes with these business cards. You put a 12,500 Rand business card on the table at a business meeting, I promise you your credibility shoots through the roof. These are tools to empower your channel building. At rank 9, this is the one everyone gets very excited about. At rank 9, this is our first recurring reward. That means it happens every single year. If you maintain your rank 9, and you'll probably go rank 9, rank 10, but once you're at rank 9, you're enjoying this international conference every single year for the rest of your life. We drive to your house in a black Mercedes. We pick up your family. You bring your bikini, your costume, your passport. You leave your wallet at home, right? We drive to the airport, escort you to the business class lounge. I always tell everybody, the DuePoint wealth engineers, when we arrive to the business class lounge, we eat all the food in the business class lounge because we can. You're then escorted to business class with your family on the flight, and we fly to an international destination. 7 days away, 5-star luxury resort, all expenses paid trip. And then when we're done, we go back to business class, fly back, the black Mercedes takes you back home, and you get to enjoy that every single year for the rest of your life. Think about what that does for your family. You might just be thinking, well, it's a nice holiday, right? It changes your children's perception of their potential. It will change them for life. So take a look. We've documented our last trip. I want you to imagine your toes in the sand. I know it's very cold here, but it's very warm in the video.
When all of your wind has gone and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sand where no one can see. You stand, don't let the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up. We will start from the start. 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 We will start from the start.
So our next trip in December is already booked, block booked, business class, the resort's been booked. You need to decide how quickly you want to get there. We've had one person get there in 5 months. They saw the DuePoint presentation on their laptop. 5 months later, they were ranked 9. A lot of the wealth engineers took about a year, just over a year. Some took 2 years. Generally, if you're doing 3 plus 2, it's going to take you about 3-4 years to get to rank 9. But that is a decision that I don't make for you. That is a decision you get to make for yourself. And that's why there's a whole bunch of questions at the end of that video. Are you willing to pay to get to rank 9? And what do we pay in? We pay in time sacrifice, because what this business does is a proposition to you where I want your free time. That's what I want. That's what rank 9 looks like. Rank 11, we spent 250,000 rand, R250,000 buying our wealth engineers a brand new car. We buy it cash, in your name. It is the best car to own. The best one to own. One that's paid off and paid by somebody else. Even better than the Range Rover that you would pay 36,000 rand a month for 5 years. It's better than the Range Rover, right? So this is what our rewards program looks like. We are sitting at rank 11, so we showcase up to rank 11, but it goes up to rank 28. What happens at rank 28? You've got to be asking yourself, will I be here in 30 years' time? That's the question, right? That's how far we plan. When we sit down in our business meetings, we already know where we're going to be in 30 years' time in this business. This is not a short-term game. This is long-term. Wealth is built long-term. And with that, we have our next wealth engineer, Casper, coming up. He's with his lovely wife, Madeleine. Let me hand you that, sir. Come stand here next to me. All right, so Casper's been with us for a while. And what I've noticed is with wealth engineers that have been with us for 2 years or more, they've realized that building wealth is not a straight line. It's not a straight line. It goes like that, then it goes like that. That's when they're crying, right? The doubt creeps in, people quit. But the ones that persist, there's another rise waiting for them. And so what I've realized is that with our wealth engineers that have been here for 2 years or more, they've got interesting stories to tell us and lessons that they've learned. So Casper joined just more than 2 years ago. He's rank 4 already. The value of his channel is sitting at nearly 8,000 a month. And as a side fact, that's equivalent of having nearly 2 million rand in a bank account. Right? Total earnings to date, nearly 40,000 rand. You've achieved 2 wealth quests, so we have monthly incentives called wealth quests. The last one you got was an extra 10,000 rand last month, and before that was an iPad.
That's correct, yeah.
There we go, so a bit of added value over and above the returns and rewards. His channel size, now Casper has got a huge channel because he's got time on his side. He's had the 2 years for his channel to develop, and so he's got 665 products sitting in his channel. But he's only got 8 first pointers on his first point. Do you see the massive leverage that exists there? So let's hear from the man himself. Casper, you had wonderful success at the beginning of this business. And I think a lot of people go through that, right? But what stands out about Casper is that he never quit. Yeah. He never quit. Life has this crazy 80-20 rule, right? Where 80% of the people aren't doing anything and 20% of the people are actually doing all the work. Casper is one of the 20%. He persisted. It doesn't mean he didn't feel the hardship, that he didn't want to quit, because we all will go through that emotion. When you're building wealth, you will go through those times. And so, Casper, I want to hear from you. What has the last 2 years been like? What are the lessons that you've learned? Cast those pearls of wisdom before our feet.
Well, thank you, Rob. Thank you very much for the opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. And also, I'd just like to say thank you for my family members who's actually come out for a little bit of encouragement. Well, Rob, truly speaking, it has not been easy. Okay, it has really been hard. And just today again, I said to one of my team members, because every day I try to encourage the people, I told them that, guys, it's hard. It's hard work to create a channel that is worth paying you every month. There's ups and there's downs. I, in fact, invited quite a few people, a number of people, to come and join me tonight, to come and see the business opportunity tonight. And they are not here for numerous reasons and excuses that they have. And, just by that alone, if I weren't so persistent, I would have also said, well, this is not working, and, I'm not going to do anything about it. And I just had to tell the people in my business as well today that, you have to go through 100 names as we hear in our training. And I said this to my wife in the early days, that, you know, I would speak to somebody and I would invite somebody to the business presentation and they would say yes, and they would come, but they won't join. Or somebody would join and they wouldn't do anything about the business. And, you know, my wife would say, this is nonsense, it won't work, you know, typical brother-in-law mentality, you know. So I actually came back to her one day and I said to her, my love, we need to get past this one point, is that we need to speak to 100 people, okay? And out of that 100 people, 65 out of that 100 people is going to say no. So get over it. Stop crying about the spilled milk, because it's a no. So now that you know that they're going to say no, it's fine that they say no. And you're going to find the 35 that says yes. And out of the 35 that says yes, you're going to have 5 that do something about the business. And out of the 5, you're going to have one person that's going to bring in 1,000 people into your business. And that one person is going to pay you 1,000 rand, 100,000 rand every month. Okay. So we've been through that in our trainings, and every one of us can have a look at that in our training. But it's hard work. It takes persistence. It takes getting in your car, going out, seeing people, coming to DuePoint. But you don't have to come to DuePoint every night, because we've got the YouTube channel and we've got all the resources that we can actually use, a memory stick that we can just pop into a TV that the people can watch the presentation. So it was hard, and it is still hard. It's not easy at all, but it's worth it.
That's what I was going to ask you. The question straight after someone says, it's hard, I want to know, is it worth it? Is it worth it?
Rob,
Because there were times when you didn't think so. Be honest with the audience.
Yes. No, it is truly
But you
speaking.
persisted.
Yes, I persisted.
And that's the key thing.
Yes.
Right?
So if I have a message to anybody out there, like Rob just now said, sometimes you don't have the money to do it. Sometimes, you know, you need to, I don't know, beg, borrow, steal some petrol money. I don't know, not literally, but, you know, just to say. But at the end of the day, guys, it's worth it. If you persist and you stick to the plan, it's worth it. Because, like Rob said, I have to have 2 million rand in the bank to actually give me an income of about 8,000 rand per month. That's going to come in anyway. It is definitely worth it, because I'm striving to give hope to people, and I give that message through every day. I tell my people, I've got hope and I've got the solution, because every day I would meet people at the various spas and places where I go to, and I would ask them, you know, are you interested in extra income? And they would say yes. Inevitably, they would say yes. And then I would say to them, well, guys, I've got this solution. I've got an opportunity for you to come and have a look at a business opportunity that will create such an income for you.
I want to touch on the recurring income a little bit, because a point you made earlier today was when you were feeling despondent, you disappeared. If you were earning commission, and if you were in a day job and you disappeared for 3 months, would you get paid?
No.
Casper, were you paid when you disappeared?
Yes,
Did
I were
DuePoint
paid.
pay you?
DuePoint did pay me, so this
Exactly. It's a point around the recurring income, right?
Yes.
We generate recurring income. This is not a commission-based business. We are trying to build real wealth, and I think Casper demonstrates that, because even though he was away for a little bit, we still paid him every single month. And that's the power of the persistence. The persistence means you still paid for your product,
Yes.
right? You were
Yeah.
still engaged as a wealth engineer. So let's talk about less about the hardship and more about the hope that you have in this business. You can see he's a renewed man. He's got newfound hope in the business, which comes after the despondency, right? If you quit in the despondency, you never get to feel that hope again. So tell us what the hope means for you currently, what you want out of this business, where you're going.
Well, Rob, yes, at the end of the day, like I said, I have a plan, I've got a solution, and I want to spread hope. And at the end of the day, you won't be successful if you didn't help other people to be successful as well. And that's the message I send through to my people every day. Go out there and spread hope, because a lot of people would think that, I don't want to bother people with this business opportunity. I don't want to, I'm ashamed about this business opportunity. Where you should be confident, because you are giving that person hope. The other day I said, I want to give Sis Pumi a big kiss, because she gave me this opportunity. She afforded me this opportunity. She said to me, Casper, do you want to make an extra income? And I said, yes. Okay, and if it wasn't because of her, then I wouldn't have had this opportunity. I wouldn't have had the income that's coming into my household every month. So, Pumi and Baba Patrick, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And this is what I want you guys to do. I want you to go out and I want you to give hope to other people. Know that if you speak to anybody about DuePoint, you're giving that person a solution. You don't have to be ashamed of DuePoint in any way. And I want to create an income big enough to support my whole family. I said to Rob earlier today is that I sat in a chair around there and I got tears in my eyes. And I found the reason why I want to do this business, and that is my beautiful wife. Okay, there's no other reason that I want to do this business for. For my children, it's obvious, but it's for my wife, because my wife owns her own business and she's capturing that business 24/7, and it's not easy. And if I want time with my wife, I've got to go do a function with my wife, or else I won't be having time, spending with her. So I want to build this business for no other reason, to create such an income that both of us can be free and we can afford the kind of lifestyle that we want. And that kind of lifestyle, our current jobs hasn't given us. And that current lifestyle that I'm looking for, her business hasn't given us either. So this opportunity is going to afford us to realize our own dreams and our own aspirations, and that of our children as well.
Casper, I'm so glad that you are willing to go through that hardship now, right? How long are you willing to do it?
Well, Rob, at the end of the day,
Or should I be asking your wife? Madeleine, how long? Huh?
Yeah, well, like Brendan says, we are willing to put 25 years, 30 years, 40 years into our work environment. But guys, if you just put 5 years, give this business 5 years, go out there and spread hope for 5 years, this business is going to far exceed our expectations. Okay, this business is going to give your children the leverage. This business, you can see to your children, and I'm already bringing my big children to the presentations every now and then, so that they can learn from that as well. And people that's in matric, young children that is just about to step out into the adult world, I want to equip them as well to go out and do the same. And I feel that is one point that I have in my heart as well, is that we hear scaring statistics of people not getting jobs out there. Okay, and it's a reality. And I feel if you can speak to those children that are 18 years and older, and you can show them what this business can do for them, and if they grab this opportunity with both their hands, they will also fly with it.
Yeah, I get very excited by young people that join our business, because they've got time on their side, right? More time than we have. Any final thoughts?
Well, Rob, yes, I'd just like to thank my team. I'd like to thank my beautiful wife, because if she wasn't by my side, I'm sure I wouldn't have been this far. So thank you very much, my beautiful bride. Thank you very much, my team. Thank you, Sis Pumi and Baba Patrick, for your support. And guys, one thing that I want to put out there is that grab onto your upline. Grab onto the person that introduced you to DuePoint, okay? And walk the path with them, because they are here to help you to be successful. Because if you are not successful, at the end of the day, they won't be successful. So take their hands and go through the training, and by doing that, you'll be successful.
Awesome. Thanks, Casper. So, folks, we've got 5 months left of the year. What are we going to do with the 5 months that we have? Again, it goes back to that decision slide, the orange slide with the setting sun. What are we going to do with the time that we have? I propose to you that you sacrifice some time for this business called DuePoint. And for the skeptics out there, I always say to everybody, I'm a natural skeptic. I don't trust anyone in marketing and advertising. right? For the skeptics out there, you don't have to give us 5 years like Casper said. Give us 30 days. I challenge you, give us 30 days. But I don't want 1 day or 2 days out of the 30 days. I want 30 real days. If you connect one person a day, whether they say yes or no, you just have to speak to them. If you speak to one person a day for 30 days, I guarantee you'll be richer next month than you were last month. That is you creating wealth. And I promise you will not leave a business that starts to create wealth. So that is my challenge to you. And I invite those guests that are interested in joining this business. Come join us. You have all the support in the world. Everything every staff member here at DuePoint does every day is to support wealth engineers in this business. We want to see you happy. We want to see you profitable. We want to see you creating additional income. It is in our interest too. This is a business about teamwork. We are all heading in the same direction. And I'd love to see every single person here with their toes in the sand in Mauritius. Whether it's in 5 years' time or 6 years' time or 7 years' time, that is my invitation. Make 2018 a year that makes you wealthier. If you have any questions, come speak to me. We've got a number of staff here this evening. Come speak to the wealth engineers. I thank you for your time this evening. Let's turn our time into wealth. Good luck.